Okay, now we're going to start covering fixed wing aircraft and how you're going to deploy them to the map and how you're going to attack with them. This video is going to focus just on the deployment aspect and how you actually get them to the map. The next video will focus on how their attacks are going to specifically work. Fixed wing aircraft are very similar to off-board artillery and how they're going to be listed. They're going to be in your scenario booklet in your order of battle, and it'll be listed down very similar to off-board artillery. It'll say something like 1 times whatever aircraft airstrike, and in parentheses say available on turn 2, turn 3, turn 4, whatever turn. If you do not have that parentheses with available on X turn, then that means that it's available from turn 1 onward. Fixed wing aircraft also have a random deployment. And what I mean by that is that during your game, once they become available, whatever turn that they are available, the first time you or your opponent roll doubles, it means the very next impulse, that's when the airstrike is going to be available and deployed. Keep in mind, that is you or your opponent. So if your opponent rolls doubles, then your airstrike will come in very next impulse. And if you roll doubles, your airstrike will come in very next impulse. If both players have airstrikes available on the same turn and doubles are rolled, the airstrike that's going to come in first is going to be determined by which player has initiative during that turn. Also, if doubles are rolled during the rally phase, then the airstrike is going to be deployed during the first impulse of that upcoming operations phase. Now, the direction of entry for the aircraft is going to be randomly determined as well. You're going to take and roll a 1d6, and on a roll of a 1, you're going to come in from the north, a 2, you're going to come in from the east, 3 south, 4 west, and on a 5 or 6, it will be the player whose airstrike it is to determine what direction the plane is going to come in. So let's say we roll a 1, that means our aircraft, this Hurricane here, would come in from the top of the board and exit along the bottom. Aircraft are going to have an unlimited movement factor. That's why you don't see a movement factor on the aircraft counter itself. But for purposes of op fire, they're going to be considered to spend 1 movement point per hex that they enter. So again, using our example of this Hurricane rolling a 1, let's say they enter from hex H1 here, they could either continue straight along this line of hexes and exit along the bottom, or they could go along this line of hexes and exit out the side, or this line and exit out that side. They would have to maintain whatever line that they chose once the aircraft is deployed. You cannot take and continue on straight and then decide to slide to an adjacent hex. Once your flight path has been determined, you're going to have to stay on that same flight path until the plane finishes its impulse and exits the map, which all must happen during the same impulse. You cannot stop your plane anywhere on the map. It must start, fire, and then exit all on the same impulse.